Welcome, everyone, to the DVB Insurance broadcast booth on the road this morning in San Luis Obispo, California. I'm Milan Desai, going to be joined by Austin Oda. The Crawdads are 0-1 in these 2022 CCL playoffs, and they have their backs against the wall this morning here at Sinsheimer Park. If they lose, they go home. They are eliminated. So they need to get a win today, and if they do get a win, they will play again at 2:30 p.m. this afternoon. So potentially a long day of baseball for the Crawdads, but they need to get the job done in front of them, and that job is going to be taking care of the San Luis Obispo Blues, who are at home here, but they will not always be designated as the home team in this tournament. But, however, today they are. Some kind of funny things going on around here, though, Austin. The Crawdads playing out of the dugout that the Blues usually use, and the Blues are going to be out of usually the away dugout.
Yeah, we mentioned before the game, when is the last time do you think that the Blues have played in the third base side dugout? But you're absolutely right about this. I mean, this is the biggest game of the year for the Dads. Yesterday morning was, at that point, the biggest game of the year for the Dads, and now every game out is going to be the biggest game of the year, and I think the Crawdads, they want to be here. They have fought really, really hard to get to this point in the season, and there was a long time where it looked like the Crawdads weren't going to get in because they were playing poorly and Lincoln was on a hot streak, and I believe that the Crawdads are supposed to be here, and so do they, and so I'm sure they hope they play too today. Let's put it that way.
Well, it's so interesting. 46 games in the regular season. They were able to win 25 of them, and none of that matters anymore. They're here, and it's all the pressure all the way to the season. The entire season is now on just this one game against the Blues. The Blues are fighting for their lives as well in the CCL playoffs. I mean, they got mollywopped last night by Healdsburg, so one of these teams is going to be eliminated by the end of this contest this morning. The Blues, though, I mean, they're at home. They you would figure they have the advantage. A smattering of fans here, but we're going to give you the starting lineups for the Crawdads. Coleman Schmidt going to lead things off. He's in center field. Tyson Corio, the second baseman. He's batting second. Orion Brome batting third. He's in left. The first baseman, Brian Duroff, is batting cleanup. Joey Donnelly, the catcher today. So not Tajero, it's Donnelly. And we saw him catch a little bit yesterday after he pinch hit for Zach Tajero. But Donnelly batting fifth. Cameron Calvillo, the shortstop, who's just been excellent, batting sixth. Ryan Ellis down in the seventh spot this morning. He's at third base. Casey Cummings in right, batting eighth. Joe Barnhart, the designated hitter, batting ninth. Mark Perkins will be on the mound, making his playoff debut for the Crawdads. For the Blues, it's going to be Jake Simons, the center fielder, leading things off for them. Chase Gallegos, the catcher, batting second. Schmela, the designated hitter, batting third. Tate Samuelson, the third baseman, batting fourth. Aiden Anderson, batting fifth. He's in right field. Cody Darcy, batting sixth, the shortstop. Zach Talia at first base, batting seventh. Connor McGuire, the second baseman, batting eighth. And rounding things out for the San Luis Obispo Blues is Cole Gabrielson, who's in left field, batting ninth. Their starter will be Cameron Maybe. So Maybe is from Illinois State University, 6'3" righty. That's who the Crawdads are going to have to face. The Crawdads are the away team this morning, so they will be up to bat first once this contest does begin. We're going to get the national anthem here for you right now. National anthem in the books. Crawdads with their backs against the wall this morning here in San Luis Obispo, California. The Crawdads played in the opening game of these 2022 CCL playoffs, and they will open things once again on day 2 of this tournament. But Crawdads, what do they need to do today, Austin? What is going to be the key to their success if they are able to find success on this field today?
I think it all starts with the pitching. I believe that baseball always starts with the pitching, and lucky for the Dads, while they are a little bit decimated in terms of the pitching staff, it should be a well-rested pitching staff. Hollis Fanning going 7 innings allows for what is left of an entire Crawdads rotation to be able to go 2 games today, and that includes Gabe Tanner, who you know will give you innings. That includes Colson Abel, who can give you innings if he's on. Same with Ben Lake, and then Mark Perkins, the starter today, has the ability to go deep into a game as well. But on the hitting side, the pitcher, Cameron Mabey, he's a very good arm, a sub-3 ERA. He's not the hardest of throwers, but he does have a mixed bag of pitches that he's able to work with, and I think that that's something that the Crawdads have a little bit of trouble with. They tend to do better with 2-pitch starters, but with a 4-pitch guy like Mabey, it'll be a little bit difficult. It all starts with Coleman Schmidt, and I've said for a while, as Schmidt goes, the Dads go, and so if Coleman Schmidt's on, so will the Dads.
Well, the Crawdads, they have their work cut out for them. Still some fans coming in, although don't expect to see a whole ton of people here this morning for a very early game. Scheduled for 10 a.m. It's 10:05 right now, but the Crawdads, they know what they need to do if they want to stay alive and eventually try to make a bid at winning this championship. But you know, before this game starts off, just have to credit this team for getting this far. I mean, they really did earn it, and they had some long losing streaks and some big highs, and you know, some very low lows. So it's good to see them here, and you know, they fought their tails off yesterday, just came out on the wrong end of things. So Coleman Schmidt getting ready to see the first pitch from Mabey.
Right back to bed, man.
Another beautiful day here in San Luis Obispo. Well, that's probably to be expected. And the pitch to Schmidt, it's a strike. So the first pitch of the ball game at 10:06. Weather 66 degrees, although it is heating up. It'll probably be in the mid-70s by the time this game gets about halfway through. The count 0-1 to Coleman Schmidt. And the 0-1 pitch, Schmidt takes there. And a little passive is Coleman Schmidt so far in this at-bat. He finished the regular season .313, the batting average 10 home runs, 39 RBIs. And yesterday, leading things off for the Crawdads, he was able to get a double as he fights this away, but he had a problem, Austin, with the strikeouts yesterday. He had 3 of them.
Well, welcome to the Coleman Schmidt experience. You know he's going to strike out every now and then, but you'll take it because of how powerful he is, how much speed he has, and his defense.
Oh, so we got some kids here getting the foul balls. The 0-2 pitch to Schmidt, swings and misses, and starting off kind of how he left things off yesterday morning with the strikeout. So Coleman Schmidt now 0 for 1, and it's going to be very important for him to be productive today for the Crawdads because they've been able to kind of do things without his bat really being there lately. But you know, you can't constantly rely on the bottom half of your order to get the job done.
And if he is there, it's a massive add for a Crawdads lineup that really needs it.
Oh, Corio fouls this. The count 0-1. 1 down here in the top of the first. No score yet. But Corio gets the bat from at least our preferred side here, the lefty side. He fouls this back into the netting. The count 0-2. So I haven't asked Tyson. I probably should have. I should have asked him.
He likes hitting lefty more. We talked about it a little bit yesterday.
Okay. So he says he's more comfortable from the left side.
Says he just sees the ball better.
Maybe. Works from the third base side of the rubber, and this is hit very high into foul territory, but running out of room will be the Blues. It'll actually land in the bullpen. Weird looking to the left and seeing the Blues there and not down the first base line. The defense for the Blues, Gallegos doing the catching, Talia over at first, McGuire at second, Tate Samuelson, the third baseman, Darcy at short, Gabrielson in left, Simons in center, and Aiden Anderson, the right fielder. 0-2 pitch. This misses Hideaway. Count 1-2.
First ball that Cameron Maybe has thrown today. It does sound a little funky saying maybe every pitch.
Yeah.
I don't know. It might be.
It might be.
It could be.
The 1-2 pitch, and is that going to be a hit? Maybe. No, it will not. It hangs up in the air in center. Simons has it. Round number 2. Corio put a pretty good swing on the ball there, but it's well chronicled that the ball is not really going to fly here. If you're going to hit a home run, you really got to get all of it, or it's got to be kind of the line drive variety.
Yeah, there were only 2 home runs hit in 3 games of play yesterday, and both of those came in the same game. We were here for the Blues and Healdsburg game, and the ball, I mean, there were some barrels, and the ball just did not fly.
And this pitch is hit hard over on the first base side, but Talia is able to block it and kind of stumbling as he exits the field of play there. But Ryan Brome, 1 pitch and out number 3. And I was going to mention that Corio, with that previous out before the end of the top of the first, is still 0 for now in these playoffs. So the lineup for the Crawdads, at least the first 3 hitters, not able to really get anything done against Maybe. So it's going to be very important to see if they can string something together the next time at bat. We're going to get our first look at Mark Perkins after the break. Bottom of the first coming up here on the Crawdads Streaming Network. Welcome back to San Luis Obispo, California. Along with Austin Oda. Bottom of the first. Mark Perkins on the mound. He's going to look to give the Crawdads a good start, just as Hollis Fanning did yesterday for these very same dads. Perkins, a 6'1" righty from Rice. He finished the regular season 1 win, 3 losses with an ERA 5.90. He had 9 appearances, 7 of them starts, pitched 32 innings, struck out 30, 18 walks, 44 hits given up. What do we need to know about Perkins, Austin?
Well, I do want to give him a little more credit. He's only 1-2, even though it says 1-3. We've chronicled at this point the point streak mishaps at times, and Mark Perkins against the Mudcats went 5 shutout innings and was handed the loss, even though he was not the pitcher of record, or should not have been.
Oh, I see that now. Yeah, that 8-3 loss there. No, he pitched 5 shutout innings and left the game.
And he ended his summer pitching very, very, very well. At times, he's been pretty much dominant, including the 4-3 win against the Stompers in his second start of the year. He's a good, hard-throwing pitcher.
Here is Jake Simons, and a good hard throw there from Mark Perkins. And he gets Simons a swing and miss. The count 0-1.
Perkins does a really good job of keeping the ball down, and with a true infield here at slow, that should bode well for him.
A 1 pitch, and finding the strike zone once again is Mark Perkins. So Perk a couple of straight strikes and really starting things out similarly to Cameron Mabey. Perk kicks the leg and fires, and that's a 3-pitch strikeout. Got him looking. Oh, Mark Perkins sets him down.
A very good start for Mark Perkins, who has the ability to strike guys out. Doesn't do it a lot, only had 9 of them in about 23 innings at Rice this year. But he is striking out about a batter an inning this summer, and I think that is a really good sign for him to start out with a K.
Well, Mark Perkins at times has been very dominant for the Crawdads. As we mentioned, that 5 innings of shutout ball that he threw against Solano, I mean, that was just fantastic. Now 1-0 here to Chase Gallegos. And the UNLV Rebel takes the count 2-0. Gallegos finished the season hitting .225, 11 RBIs. Did have 5 doubles, however. 2-0 pitch to Gallegos. This misses high and in. Has to lean out of the way. The count 3-0. And Simons, before he K'd backwards, I mean, he was a really tough out for any of the pitchers who played against San Luis Obispo. He finished the season up at 366. The 3-0 pitch, and this misses high. So after a 3-pitch strikeout, it's a 4-pitch walk.
Mark Perkins, we mentioned how good he was in his last start against Solano, but in 3 starts against Solano this summer, he was absolutely phenomenal. A total of 14 innings with just 5 earned runs and 16 Ks. And that was it. He faced the Mudcats more than anyone and did really well for a Mudcats team that I think surprised a lot of people with how good they were.
The Mudcats were grinders this season, that is for sure, and they gave the Crawdads as well as some other teams fits. Maybe not Healdsburg so much.
Well, they did give Healdsburg fits. That was the only team for almost the entire summer that had beat Healdsburg at home.
And who was the other team to do that?
I think that was that little team out of Walnut Creek.
Yeah, a little team out of Walnut Creek, the little team that could. And now there's a pause in play. I guess there's a ball out on the field. Is that? Yes, that's what's going on. And who's crawling over the fence there? That's Colson Abel. I wonder if Abel will be available today to pitch. Should be rested enough, as this pitch is hit on the ground to short. Calvillo taps second with his foot and throws it over to first. That's a double play to end the inning. That's nice. 6-3, just does it himself. Calvillo can do it all. And the 1-out walk does not come back to damage Perkins and the Crawdads. Still 0-0 after 1. Top of the second coming up when we return here on the Crawdads Streaming Network. Top of the second inning. It's going to be Brian Duroff, Joey Donnelly, and Cameron Calvillo. It's still scoreless here. Battle of 2 teams that lost in the opening round yesterday. The Crawdads were defeated by the Riptide in the first game of these 2022 CCL playoffs, and last night, quick turnaround for the Blues. They had to play Healdsburg the previous evening, so yesterday, and now they're here at 10 a.m. in their own ballpark, but with maybe not the home field advantage that they had possessed last night. The 1-0 pitch, and Duroff hits it foul past third base coach John Jensen. The umpires today, it's Kai Nakamura behind home plate calling balls and strikes. And out there on the corners, you got Ron Adams and Jose Martin. Adams at first, Martin at third. The 1-1 pitch to Duroff. This misses low and away.
I do want to say, last inning, you mentioned that Zach Talia, when he was coming into the dugout, took a little bit of a stumble. Him and Ryan Brome, the guy that hit it to him, they're best friends. They're childhood best friends.
2-1 pitch, and just not able to keep that fair down the left field line is Duroff. He's hit a few balls over that way now, and so they grew up together.
Yep. And so as Talia was coming past the first base bag to make the tag on the bag, Brome gave a little slap to his glove like A-Rod, trying to push it back. Knew he was going to be out.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Duroff going to punch this foul. Running after it is Talia, the first baseman, but he runs out of room. Now, Duroff has had some quality at-bats towards the end of the regular season, and then yesterday he hit the ball. I mean, it wasn't that he wasn't trying up there. I mean, he really was giving it a good effort, just maybe not the results he wanted.
No, he hit 2 balls very hard, 1 to third and 1 to first.
And he swings and misses. Now 0 for 6 in these playoffs is Brian Duroff. So for a player who finished the regular season hitting above 300 at 316, 4 home runs, 31 driven in, he's still looking for his first hit now in game number 2 for the Crawdads.
And a little bit unlike Brian Duroff to have 3 strikeouts through just 2 games. He's a guy that only struck out, less than 20 times the entire regular season.
Here is Joey Donnelly, who's doing the catching today.
We haven't seen that in a while.
No.
Well, yesterday, but
we haven't seen him catch a full game in a while.
Since Arroyo Seco came up to us up in Danville.
Yes.
He caught the Hollis Fanning game, and I think that's the last time he was behind the plate for a full game.
The 0-1 to Donnelly, and this misses. Count 1-1. There's one down here in the top of the second. Crawdads want to get on the board first. If you're just joining us, this game started at 10 a.m., an early start. The 1-1 pitch, well, it was scheduled for 10 a.m., started at 10:06.
What do I always say?
Even in the playoffs.
Even in the playoffs, it wouldn't be the CCL if games started on time.
Kind of a tradition. It's a tradition that they do that. Then it's a tradition that you say it. As Donnelly hits this to the left and forces third base coach John Jensen to do a little dance there. He doesn't get hit in the foot, but a couple of strikes now on Donnelly. Donnelly was the guy for a while on the Crawdads, at least in the first half of the season, that really looked like he was going to dominate pitching all summer, and he finished the season hitting .210 and kind of stuck on 4 home runs, 19 RBIs. 2-2 pitch, he waves and misses, and that's a strikeout.
It's been a little difficult to watch because Joey Donnelly, he's such a good hitter. He just was unable to put it together at the end of the season. And I really think that the big turning point of his summer was in a game that the Crawdads played against the Healdsburg Prune Packers, and Donnelly hit a ball that should have been over the fence that was robbed for a home run. And I think that might have just messed him up a little bit mentally. If that ball doesn't get out, what can?
Yeah. Oh, here's Calvillo, and Calvillo just doing what he does, hits the ball very hard, but on the ground over to Samuelson at third, who makes a nice throw across the baseball diamond for out number 3. So Calvillo, even though a good strike on the ball with the baseball bat for Cameron, Crawdads still looking for a base runner. After an inning and a half, it is still 0-0. Crawdads not able to crack the scoreboard. Bottom of the second coming up. The Blues will be up to bat. They'll send up 4, 5, and 6. Tate Samuelson will lead things off when we return here on the Crawdads Streaming Network. Bottom of the second, Mark Perkins got through a pretty uneventful bottom of the first. He did walk Chase Gallegos, but then he forced Nathan Schmela into a double play, and Calvillo made that look awfully easy, just picking the ball himself at short, stepping on second base, and whipping it over to first for the second out. So that's how the first inning of work went for Perkins. Perkins also struck out Simons, who led things off for the Blues, but it's going to be 4, 5, and 6 for San Luis Obispo here. Tate Samuelson, who finished the season hitting .258, a home run, 15 RBIs. He's the third baseman who just made the final out when the Crawdads were recently at bat moments ago. And Parkins, that's a combination of Mark and Perkins. This ball is bounced high up to the third baseman, Ellis, who throws over to first for the out. So a good job by Mark Perkins there.
Tate Samuelson, a 5-year starter at Cal Poly SLO, just finished his 5th year there, staying here for the summer. And, I mean, he's a good player. He's hit .273 in 5 seasons with SLO, and I mean, as the cleanup hitter on a good SLO Blues team, so he can definitely play. He's a guy to watch out for.
He's a returner as well. He loves this area. I mean, how could you not? It's so beautiful. But Samuelson put out 5-3. Here's Aiden Anderson, the right fielder. Righty against righty. Perkins delivers, misses low and in. I count 1-0. In the first, Perkins was able to strike out Simons on 3 pitches and then walked Gallegos with 4 balls. The 1-0 here, and 2 straight misses from Perkins, so starting to look a little bit similar to that second at-bat. The 2-0 pitch, and finding the zone there is Perkins.
Looking at Tate Samuelson's numbers a little bit, he's played a lot of baseball. You don't see that many guys who start for 5 years in college in general, and then also guys that have played 3 and now 4 full summers.
3 balls, a strike. No, and that's a great sign, though. If you're a coach, you have to love that because, you know, that's a guy who wants to play. The 3-1 pitch misses in, and that's a walk. The second walk that Perkins has issued already this morning. He's walked Gallegos, and now he walks Aiden Anderson.
And if you look at it, it's a similar career to Tyson Corio. Corio has played 4 years of college baseball, including 2 as a starter, 1 at Delta, 1 at Cal Poly, and then summers 4 years straight. And I actually asked him about it during the game last night. I was like, dude, why are you still here? Like, why do you still play college baseball? And he was like, I just love playing.
Just love baseball. Now here's Darcy, another righty Perkins to deal with, and he gets him to go after a pitch low and away. Perkins, good sinker, good slider. Doesn't go with the conventional fastball all that often, but when his sinker's on and he's able to keep it about knee-high for the majority of the game, he is really dominant. So runner off of first, the 0-1 pitch, and that finds the zone as well, about knee-high. It's a good pitch from Perk. Count 0-2. It's still 0-0, but the Blues do have Aiden Anderson over off of first. And a pickoff move. Is Anderson back in safely? He was. With that walk, Anderson was able to collect the second walk of the morning for the Blues. And the 0-2 pitch, and this bounces, and it falls right behind Joey Donnelly, who had trouble locating it, and advancing on the play is Aiden Anderson.
Donnelly has not had much of a summer behind the plate and having a little trouble locating it there, but I think with Anderson's jump off of first, it looked like as soon as he saw Donnelly drop the ball, he was going. I don't know if Donnelly had much of a chance on that one.
Darcy, a .248 hitter with a little bit of pop, 3 home runs, 21 RBIs. And he had the green light all the way there, but fouls this off down the first base line. Count still 1-2. The defense for the Crawdads. Ellis at third, Calvillo at short, Corio at second, Duroff at first. Donnelly, the catcher, of course, and from left to right in the outfield, Brome, Schmidt, and then Cummings in right. The 1-2 pitch, and swung on and missed. That's exactly what Perkins needed.
Nice recovery by Perkins after the ball gets behind his catcher Donnelly to be able to come back and K Darcy.
For Darcy, that's his third strikeout of the playoffs, and it's another man who's hitless. I mean, it's just been one game played by both these teams, so you're going to see some players without hits, but that's not something you want to keep going day to day. The worst time to get on a cold streak. Oh, here is Zach Talia. First pitch to Talia is one that was tailing away from him, and he could not connect on a swing to count 0-1. Talia finished the season hitting .230, 4 home runs, 26 RBIs. And the 0-1 pitch to Talia. He puts a charge into this, into center. Running back is Coleman Schmidt. He tracks it and makes the catch on the run right before the warning track. Round number 3. What a play from the center fielder, Coleman Schmidt. It is still 0-0. Top of the third coming up. Crawdads will be up to bat here on the Crawdads Streaming Network. Top of the third inning, Londese along with Austin Oda, Crawdads and the Blues. Scoreless here. Been some good pitching from Perkins as well as maybe the starter for the Blues. They've done it in similar ways, I would say. They've avoided, for the most part, big contact, although Schmidt did have to run down a ball at the warning track to end the bottom of the second. This pitch here misses outside to Ryan Ellis. The count, oh no, called a strike. That looked like it was outside, and it's actually right there on the outside black, so the count 0-1. It's Ellis, Cummings, and Barnhart. Ellis skies this into right field. Jogging back is Anderson, and he puts the glove up, and he has it.
Ball started to carry a little bit. Not a pitch that we saw carry yesterday. The ball blows in general, and especially from that right field side. Ellis gave it a little bit of a ride. He's looking out there. He's a little frustrated. He's like, I just got under that. That's exactly what happened.
He's trying to will it out there. And Austin, I think we've seen that a lot in the games that have been played here in San Luis Obispo. It seems if you get under the ball just a little too much, it's going to be a fly out. Pitch in there to Casey Cummings, a strike.
I think the difference between what Cameron Mabey and Mark Perkins have done today is Mabey is just pounding the strike zone.
0-1 pitch to Casey Cummings, and he tries to pound this ball into the ground, and it's going to be an error on Darcy, who could not scoop it. I think Cummings would have been safe regardless, so it'll be interesting to see how they score it, but Darcy just completely misplaced that ball and misplays it.
Well, I feel bad for Casey Cummings because I think he would have been on first either way, and they're going to give Darcy an error. Darcy is very prone to the area, 17 of them now this summer. That leads the CCL, and it's tough. You know he's a good defender. He's a 4-year college player, but a tough start for him today.
The .257 hitting Cummings in the regular season was able to get over to first, an error on Darcy. And Cummings, a guy that has really just been so good down the stretch for the Crawdads. They're going to need him to be good today. And he was productive in his game yesterday. Here's Barnhart as a pickoff move. Cummings still safe. Barnhart, not the summer he wanted, but he can make that all disappear with some good playoff performances. Hit below 200 to finish the season, as Cummings is going to take off for second, but the pitch is fouled back into the netting, and that probably would have been a swiped bag for Casey Cummings.
Barnhart saw the pitch at his letters and was a little too tempted by it. I agree that it would have been a steal for Cummings, who only had 4 steals this season, but is so fast over at first. You know he has the speed to take a bag at any time.
And he's twitchy fast. Like, he can just start immediately. Doesn't really need to get a full head of steam before he can really start getting up to full speed as this pitch misses. Whereas with Coleman Schmidt, it kind of takes him a few strides to really get into it. Ryan Ellis, similar to Cummings, they could just pitch here. This is chopped on the ground, charging at the third baseman, Samuelson, who gets it over to second for one, but the relay back to first, not in time. A good idea from Samuelson. It's the right idea. They are able to get the speedy Casey Cummings at second, but the throw from McGuire over to Talia at first just beat out there by Barnhart.
And a great job by Barnhart to beat it down the line, because he's not the fastest guy, has those catcher legs, but he was hustling right out of the box, knew he was going to have to hustle, and then made it into first.
Here's Coleman Schmidt, who's 0 for 1 with a strikeout. There's 2 down here in the top of the third. But Barnhart off of first, and Coleman Schmidt, a mighty swing, but a miss. Coleman Schmidt may be the missing piece for this team in terms of his offense if he's able to find it again. Really heat this Crawdad squad up. 0-1 pitch, and he takes, and it's a strike. We have seen a selective Coleman Schmidt at times this summer, but I think everyone can agree, watching at home or here in the stands, that a passive Coleman Schmidt at the plate is not the Schmidt that the Crawdads want. And he swings late here, and it's a strikeout. Schmidt has struck out twice now. So the Crawdads were able to get their first base runner of the ball game, their first 2 base runners. However, Cummings was out at second when the Blues tried to turn a double play, and then Barnhart was stranded at first. So after 2.5, it is still 0-0. Perkins going to try to keep it that way when we come back for the bottom of the third here on the Crawdads Streaming Network. Bottom of the third, still no score here in San Luis Obispo. Crawdads and the Blues The Blues, the home team today at their home park. Perkins still on the mound and gets a foul ball there. Count 0-1.
You know that the Crawdads will want Perkins to go deep in this game. A very depleted Crawdads pitching staff that would like to play 2 games today.
McGuire down 0-1. Going to see the pitch here, and he waves and misses. The count 0-2. McGuire finished the regular season hitting a .235, 6 RBIs. He's at second this morning for the Blues. Boy, I can't wait till it's afternoon. 0-2 pitch, and that's a strikeout, swinging, and Perkins got him.
Perkins, the slider, 2 in a row after starting him with the sinker, and that sinker slider, they really play off of each other. If you start tunneling them together, starting them in the same location, they'll split in different ways, and that's exactly what Perkins does there.
McGuire could not keep up with what Perkins was doing to him there, and Perkins gets another strikeout. He's had a strikeout in every inning of work so far, so that's a good sign from Perkins. Here is the number 9 hitter, Cole Gabrielson, and Gabrielson takes there. The count 1-0. Gabrielson, the left fielder, he finished his summer hitting 103. Oh, some vulnerabilities there at the bottom of the lineup for head coach Bob Miller. He's the manager of the Blues. There's another good pitch there from Perkins, and even when he falls behind, it seems like he's able to get back into it. And this misses. It missed low and then could not be snagged by Donnelly, and that might be some of that inexperience there. 2-1 pitch, and Gabrielson swings and misses. That low outside location there for Perkins has been very good. Whether, as you said, Austin, he wants to go with a sinker there or a slider.
Yeah, especially with righties, the only thing they can do with that is roll over to the left side.
2-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Another strikeout there, and yeah, he is out. he started, it was interesting, Gabrielson was carrying the bat like he was going to run with the bat too first, and home plate umpire Kai Nakamura said, no, you're out.
Right, you don't even need to run. Donnelly threw over to first, maybe just for the fun of it.
Donnelly did throw over to first. So back-to-back strikeouts for Mark Perkins, and I don't want to say quietly because he's been very good so far, but quietly Mark Perkins has 4 strikeouts. And this pitch misses outside to Jake Simons. Simons, who is 0 for 1, and he was struck out on 3 pitches looking in his first at-bat. And Simons takes high and in. The count, 2 balls, no strikes.
For a while, we were clamoring over Ryan Brohm's a walk per game, but at the start of the summer, Jake Simons had 15 hit by pitches in 11 games.
The ball magnet. 2-0 pitch, and not going to get hit there as Perkins hits the zone with a good slider. The count 2-1.
And then he got hurt for a good amount of time this summer, was back, and immediately got hit by a pitch.
Isn't that how it works? You come off the IL, and you have to take a shot, and oof, Donnelly wore that one, and lower half of the body there. Ball that was foul-tipped. Count 2-2.
So Jake Simons giving Joey Donnelly a little taste of his own medicine. Hey, I get hit by 15 pitches. You can take one.
You can get hit by 1. Well, he probably figures, Donnelly, you're a catcher. You should be very tough back there. Donnelly's like, hey, I do this just sometimes. As this ball is hit high into center field, and running in to make the catch is Coleman Schmidt. Mark Perkins, it's just been an easy ride out there for him so far on the mound. 3 innings of work, still has not given up a run, and it's still scoreless. Top of the 4th coming up. Crawdads will be up to bat. They will try to get on the board first. It'll be Corio, Brome, and Duroff. Austin Oda will be on the call when we return here on the Crawdads Streaming Network.
Top of the fourth inning, welcome into beautiful Sinsheimer Park here in San Luis Obispo, California. Austin Oda, Alon to say, ecstatic to be taking you on the ride today.
It's been fun. It's great that the Crawdads were able to make it to the playoffs, but you know, this is a high tension game for them. They can get eliminated if they don't get the job done.
First pitch to Tyson Corio is strike one from, I don't know, it might be Cameron maybe. It could be.
It could be.
There's a chance. You never know. 0-1 to Tyson Corio with all zeros on the scoreboard. Maybe fires. A little low.
Even that's confusing. Maybe fires. And hearing someone else say
Right.
it, oh, boy.
I told you, it sounds a little more normal when you're saying it, and then when the other guy does it, it's weird. The 1-1. Corio hits a high fly ball, shallow left field. Gabrielson under it. Makes the two-handed catch for the first out of the inning. Corio now 0 for 2.
Well, Tyson Corio, I think he's got to figure out, and it's not just him, it's everybody on this team right now at bat. We've seen a few fly balls, and maybe got to figure out a way to kind of stay on top of the ball a little bit more and try to work with a lot of the room that the Blues seem to be giving up here right up the middle.
Here's Ryan Brome, 0 for 1 today. Hit the ball over to first his first time. He takes down and away. 1-0 from Cameron Maybe, not to be confused with Cameron Mabin. Cameron Mabin was a good player. 1-0. Brome takes up high, 2-0. Brome hit the ball over to his good friend Zach Talia over at first.
They've been having a fun time today.
Yeah, they have. A couple interactions between the two of them. The 2-0. Brome takes in the dirt, 3-0.
Will we get a playoff Ryan Brome walk?
Didn't do it yesterday.
No.
3-0. Maybe fires. And Brome takes right on the outside edge. I thought for a second it was going to be ball 4, but you know Brome's not swinging on 3-0, and there's a good chance he doesn't swing 3-1. We will see. Maybe fires outside ball 4. Say it with me. Death, taxes, and Ryan Brome taking walks.
Ryan Brome taking walks. I mean, he got his playoff walk. Now he's probably thinking, when do I get my playoff home run?
And now he gets to hang out with his good buddy Zach for a little bit. When I went to dinner with Jack Ben Shoshan and Ryan Brome, we were talking about wiffle ball, and he said that Ryan and Zach were a dominant blitzball team. Here's Brian Duroff. First pitch. Duroff hits a high fly ball to right field. Going over is the right fielder, and right next to the foul line makes the catch for out number 2.
The guy I feel bad for over there on the right side, well, actually two people. So since Romer and Talia are going to be having a conversation like they're 7 years old again, Lovato has to quickly become friends with Ron Adams and, you know, hey, can we be friends? Because they're not going to let us in on that conversation.
Absolutely not. Here's Joey Donnelly, who's 0 for 1 with a strikeout. One of the 4 early for Cameron Maybe. First pitch. Donnelly lines this one over past the Blues dugout. 0-1. Zach Talia, when we were talking about it, Talia comes from a very good baseball family. His brother, Michael, is a top prospect, was for a while in the Rockies organization, played at UCLA, excuse me. As the 0-1, Donnelly takes up high. And Ryan said that there was a middle brother that was better than all of them at blitzball, but never panned out like the two Pac-12 brothers did. 1-1 to Joey Donnelly. Maybe delivers, and Donnelly takes right there, strike 2.
I don't know if the blitzball scholarships are out there yet either.
Not yet. You know, here's my soapbox. If professional gaming and gaming can be a scholarship, make blitzball a thing too. The 1-2, Donnelly takes up high, 2-2.
I agree. I think there'd be a lot of people who agree with that.
I mean, you know, I would go play some college wiffle ball. 2-2 to Joey Donnelly. Deuces are wild with no score in the top of the 4th inning. Brome on first. The 2-2. Donnelly takes just outside, ball 3.
Similar yesterday, Nakamura, the home plate umpire this morning for this contest, but similar that looks like that outside edge just not really open there.
3-2 to Donnelly. Brome will be on the move with 2 outs. Maybe fires. Donnelly strikes out swinging off the outside edge. Got a piece of it, but right into the glove of the catcher Gallegos. Another shutout frame for Cameron Maybe. The Crawdads do get a base runner on a 1-out Ryan Brome walk. Bottom of the 4th coming up when we come back here on the Crawdads Streaming Network. Bottom of the 4th inning, 0-0 the score. A pitcher's duel at its finest so far as Mark Perkins steps back onto the mound, throws his final warm-up pitches. Perkins will be facing Gallegos, Shimela, and Samuelson.
Perkins has been awesome so far, and they got a really good start yesterday, did the Crawdads, out of Hollis Fanning, and I would say an even better start out of Mark Perkins this morning.
So far, yeah, he's been very good.
Now number 17,
Chase Gallegos, 0 for 0, took a 4-pitch walk in his first at bat. Perkins, 4 strikeouts and 2 walks through 3 frames. First pitch on its way to Gallegos, who takes the first strike he's seen all day.
And one of the things about the walks that Perkins has thrown, they haven't been awful walks. He's just been offline, but they've been quick. He's just quickly got them out of the way and then gotten right back on track.
0-1, Gallegos swings and misses at a good hard sinker, and it's 0-2.
And I also like that they're not walks that are, it's not a bunch of full count situations either, so he's not throwing a whole ton of pitches.
The 0-2 is chopped to second base. Corio, a slow roller. He takes his time to throw to first and retire Gallegos for out number 1. Good start to the 4th inning of work for Perk.
Probably feels good for Corio out there, too, just to routinely take care of that play and make it real easy. We know he had the one yesterday where he kind of bobbled it about 2 or 3 times and really couldn't collect the ball. So Corio looks like his normal self again here.
Here's Shimela, 0 for 1, grounded into a double play. His first at bat, he takes off the outside, ball 1. And it's funny because we know how good Corio has been at second base this summer, and everyone does. And as the 1-0 from Perkins is chopped behind the plate, 1-1. And when we were at the game last night, Gabe Tanner, who was on the wrong side of a Tyson Corio error yesterday, gave up an unearned run because of it. He went up to Tyson and he was like, dude, you've made like 3 errors all year. The 1-1. Grounded to third. Ellis has it. Deep in the hole, throws to first, and retires Shimela for out number 2. 2 ground balls for Mark Perkins, 2 quick outs.
Well, that's when you know Perkins is locked in, when he's able to just draw some really weak contact out of the opposition and it gets his infielders involved, has no issues doing that, and that just means that the sinker's working for him and his slider, he can just work right off of that.
First pitch to Samuelson is right there. Strike one from Perkins. Perkins now at the 42 pitch mark. Been very economical. The 0-1 is called strike two. Same spot with a sinker, 0-2. And this opens up a plethora of possibilities for Mark Perkins to go to. He's throwing the sinker in the same spot. The 0-2 lined into center field, hit hard. Schmidt coming in will make the catch on the run for out number 3. A very nice inning for Mark Perkins. 3 up, 3 down. Top 5 when we come back. Zeros on the scoreboard here on the Walnut Creek Crawdads streaming network. Top of the 5th inning, a very, very quick pace to this ball game as it's still 0-0 in a win or go home game. The winner of this game will face the OC Riptide later today at the completion of this game. Cam Calvillo to lead off for the Crawdads. First pitch, way outside, gets past the glove of the catcher behind the plate, and it's 1-0. Calvillo, like many of the Crawdads, 0 for 1. Hit a ball hard, but right to the third baseman. The 1-0, grounded to Darcy, deep in the hole at short. His long throw to first is in time. A nice play by Cody Darcy for out number 1. And I'd like to give Darcy a little more credit because we were talking with the Slow Blues broadcaster, Zach Ibrahim, between innings, and I asked him what the deal was with Cody Darcy's errors, because Crawdads have a couple of guys that have a lot of errors. You look at Matt King with his 13, Ryan Ellis with his 16, and Cody Darcy apparently has errors that are just credited to him that weren't his. So he should only have 7 to 10 errors this summer. First pitch to Ryan Ellis is fouled off to the left by the parking lot. Hopefully my car is safe.
I think we parked far enough away today.
I don't know. We parked right next to each other. Yeah, you didn't see it. You weren't there when I parked, but I made sure. We can meet up after the game, fist bump. 0-1 to Ryan Ellis, who's 0 for 1 today. Batting from the left side, maybe fires. Ellis flips it foul again. Same spot, 0-2.
I think another thing about Darcy, he had a great throw to get Calvillo, who was really selling out to get over to first as fast as he could.
0-2 to Ryan Ellis, maybe sitting at just 53 pitches through 4 1/3. Maybe nods off his catcher, now finds the sign he likes. The 0-2, Ellis takes down and in, almost hits him, but he darts out of the way, and it's 1-2.
Luckily for Ellis, it didn't hit him, and with how big of a part speed is for him offensively. That's a big part of his game. He does not want to get hit in the legs.
The 1-2. Ellis grounds it to second base. McGuire on a couple hops, takes his time to throw to first, and retires Ryan Ellis. 2 quick outs, both on ground balls for Cameron Mabey. And it'll bring up Casey Cummings.
Seen a lot of weak contact on the ground from both teams so far, and there's an occasional liner, maybe every couple of innings, but I mean, defensively, these two teams they're really with it.
0-0 the score here in the top of the 5th. Casey Cummings 0 for 1. He reached on an error. Gets a high fly ball to shallow right. Coming in Anderson, and back is the second baseman McGuire to make the catch. Anderson took a tumble and had to give way to McGuire, but a quick inning for Cam Mabey led to the bottom of the 5th. Mark Perkins back out for his 5th inning of work here on the Crawdads Streaming Network. Bottom of the 5th inning, it's a very quick pace to today's game, though, as our phenomenal PA announcer would say, Andy McDonald would say, knock on wood. He would be knocking on every single surface right now.
Anything that even resembles wood, he would just be tapping it for good luck.
First pitch of the 5th inning for Ryan Brome is showing bunt is Anderson, but he taps it foul, and it's 0-1.
That's a way to get your offense jump started. Maybe a bunt and quickly book it out of the box.
Anderson 0 for 0 with a walk. So Burke gets a free strike, which he'll take any day. We'll see if Anderson thinks about bunting again. I like the idea. The 0-1. He takes a little low and outside. Donnelly dropped it, and that might have aided the call for Kai Nakamura behind the plate. And it's 1-1.
Tough to make that call when the ball's dropped.
The 1-1. Anderson waves at a big slider and almost falls as he trips out of the plate, and it's 1-2.
And now this is a big hole for Anderson because, you know, out of the players in the lineup, he led them in terms of strikeouts. He had 35 of them this summer.
The 1-2. Perkins gets him swinging. A big slider went even further out, and Anderson couldn't hold up. A very good start to the day. The 5th strikeout for Mark Perkins, and there's one down in the bottom of the 5th inning.
And you don't think of Mark Perkins as a strikeout guy, but he is today. I mean, a strikeout an inning, that is a great pace to be on.
Here's Cody Darcy, 0 for 1 with one of the 5 Perkins strikeouts. First pitch, Darcy takes just a little high, maybe. 1-0.
That looked like it was about belt high. Kind of right in an area that's usually called a strike.
The 1-0. Darcy takes down low, 2-0. Appeal over to Ron Adams at first. No, he did not. 2-0 is called strike one on the outer black. And to get it in fastball, he got it in, and it's 2-1.
And now, after that, he can maybe mix that sinker low and in here.
The 2-1, Darcy takes inside, 3-1.
Don't think that's where Donnelly wanted it, but
the 3-1. Darcy waves and misses at a big slider. It was green lighted on 3-1 and couldn't catch up to it.
well, it's easy to say after Perkins gets a strikeout with that pitch, but it seems like the slider has gotten better as the game has worn on.
Full count pitch on its way. Darcy stays alive, chops it past the Blues dugout, which isn't the Blues dugout,
No.
so I can't say that's the Blues dugout, but today it is, at least for game one.
And there's a mural in that dugout, too, that gives some happy vibes to the team that inhabits that dugout. There's not one in their dugout, though.
3-2. Darcy strikes out swinging, 2 straight Ks. Perkins able to battle back from 3-1 and strike out Darcy for the second time today.
Well, Mark Perkins had a chance to talk to him and his father yesterday. Great gentleman, and it was great to see that Perkins had family make the trip out here to watch him play, but he is really putting on a show.
First pitch to Zach Talia is swung on and missed. There's that slider again, and it's 0-1.
And you can just tell with Perkins when you do talk to him in between starts or a day before start, he usually has a pretty good gauge on how effective he'll be.
0-1 is a slider that bounces in, 1-1. Mark Perkins, many people on this team, when I asked them in the Crawdad Crackdown, who's the smartest player on the team, just about everyone said Mark Perkins. The 1-1. In the dirt, 2-1. Perkins, of course, out of Rice, which is a very, very good school.
Not an easy school to get into, and kind of an interesting application process at Rice.
As the 2-1 is chopped to third behind the bag, Ellis. He has to take a long throw to first. It is high, and beating it out is Talia. And we'll see if they give him a hit or an error.
That was a tough throw for Ellis to make, and it's something that he's really been working on this summer in terms of not the throw on the move, but backtracking and then digging that heel in and then just firing a strike across the diamond and not able to get it there. And it looks like they're going to give the Blues a hit, Austin.
And so the first hit for either team today comes in the bottom of the 5th inning. A pitcher's duel at its finest. First pitch on its way is swung on and missed. A big slider, 0-1 to McGuire.
But Rice, a tough school to get into, and on their application, they send you an empty box. I believe it's called the box, and you have to submit a picture about Rice or a picture that's meaningful for you on that application.
Interesting. 0-1 to McGuire, who went down waving in his first at-bat. He takes called strike 2. So Perkins, though he set down 10 in a row before that last hit, is able to get 2 straight strikes on McGuire to start off. And he's up 0-2. No score, bottom 5th. The 0-2. Just staying alive is McGuire as he was able to get a piece of the slider and tip it towards the on-deck circle of the Crawdads, and it's 0-2.
So Perkins, he's got him in the rocking chair here. Might see that big slider.
The 0-2. Fastball misses away. Or maybe not.
Or maybe not. I figured with the way Donnelly was going to set up, probably low and away, that Perkins would fire a slider there, but elects to go with the fastball, maybe just trying to change things up.
I think that fastball outside might be setting up a slider that starts in the same location. Tunneling. It's where Donnelly sets up. The 1-2. Slider just staying alive is McGuire.
You can see it all the way if it's going to be outside there. I mean, there's a good chance of it being a slider. Like we were talking about earlier, there's really not much a righty can do with that slider that's tailing away from them unless they just sit on it and try to go to the opposite field with it. But Perkins is really able to get that thing to bend way off the plate.
The 1-2. Chopped past third, but foul.
Another thing about there, out at third for Ellis, I hope he did some groundskeeping today, and that pesky rock isn't there anymore.
No kidding. That rock is, you know, I'm going to say it. That rock is the reason the Crawdads lost yesterday.
It hurt. It definitely hurt the Dads. The rock came in handy.
They call him Dwayne. The 1-2. Off the outside, a fastball, 2-2.
Speaking of Dwayne, the Rock, Johnson kind of saw a wrestling match during the spinny bat race here.
Oh, my goodness.
That was a major league collision.
Deuce is wild. Perkins fires. Strike 3, swinging. A slider. We've heard that one before. 7 Ks now for Mark Perkins. He gives up the first hit of either pitcher today, but he's able to strand Talia at first. Top of the 6th inning when we come back. Zeros here on the Walnut Creek Crawdads streaming network. Top of the 6th inning, 0-0 the score here at beautiful Sinsheimer Park and maybe even more beautiful San Luis Obispo. Crawdads will send Joe Barnhart to the plate to start off in the top of the 6th against Cam Maybe, who may be pitching the game of his life.
I think he is.
Barnhart 0 for 1, grounded into a fielder's choice, and his last at-bat was able to beat it out to first. First pitch. Barnhart takes up high, ball 1. Maybe 5 shutout innings, just a walk, and 5 strikeouts.
Maybe.
Maybe. He's been all right. 1-0 to Barnhart. He lines this one into left field, and that'll get down. That'll get into the gap. Barnhart around first. He'll head for second. Up with it, Gabrielson. The throw's going to come into second. Barnhart in standing. A leadoff double for Joe Barnhart, the first hit of the day for the Crawdads. If you had Joe Barnhart getting the first hit on for the Crawdads today, go buy a lottery ticket.
Go buy a lotto ticket. You're not expecting Barnhart, who finished the summer hitting just 167, to come up with a hit like that, but we know he's awfully strong, and he found a gap there. And maybe that's, for the Crawdads, something that'll get this offense into gear here. And now what's great is Coleman Schmidt for the Dads gets a chance with a runner in scoring position and nobody out.
For Joe Barnhart, just his second extra base hit the entire summer.
Is the other the home run?
Yeah, the home run against the Cal Bees.
Boy, that was a long time
All the
ago.
way back on July 7th, just about a month. Coleman Schmidt started to show bunt. First pitch, Schmidt does show bunt, pops it up, back behind the plate, and up over.
Get it, Tracy, get
I
it.
was just going to say, it's right towards Tracy. Tracy, of course, manager Cummings' wife.
She gave it a gander real quick and went, let one of these kids get it.
So 0-1 to Coleman Schmidt. We'll see if he tries to lay down a bunt again. The good thing about Schmidt is if he gets down a good bunt, he can definitely hustle it out. He'll show bunt. The 0-1. He gets it down. Third base side. It's a good one. Samuelson bobbles it. The throw to first is not in time. Schmidt beats it out.
Wow, Samuelson had trouble there picking that up, and it kind of took just a little bit of a tiny little hop on the roll there down the third base line and right on the bridge of the grass and the dirt. And Schmidt, that's the speed right there. He got high speed right down the line, got over to first, and I think he knew he was going to beat that out the moment he laid the bunt down.
I believe they'll give it an error. We'll see. Nothing yet. And they're giving Schmidt a hit. Interesting. I think he might have beat it out, but the bobble definitely helped. Here's Tyson Corio. First pitch. Corio hits a high pop-up. This will not do the trick. Back behind second. Darcy makes the catch for out number 1.
And that's massive now for San Luis Obispo because they can try to turn a double play and get themselves out of a jam here.
But if there's anyone you want at the plate if you're the Crawdads, it's this guy, Ryan Brome. Brome is 0 for 1 today, but he death taxes and Ryan Brome taking walks.
Oh, okay.
That's
the past tense.
Yeah.
It's a verb now.
Right. Brome grounds it to third slowly. Samuelson up with it. He's going to come to the plate. Barnhart's in a pickle. Gallegos has it. He tags Barnhart. And what a play by Tate Samuelson to cut down the run at home plate. Wow.
That was a nightmare there for the Crawdads. Barnhart, not a lot of speed off of third. And I think that in his mind, that ball being hit slowly, he thought that Samuelson was just going to settle for an out at first or try to turn a double play, so he was going to go home. And instead, Samuelson wisely takes care of Barnhart instead of trying to get a double play against a couple of fast runners.
Brome safe at first, Schmidt at second, Brian Duroff at the plate, but now with 2 outs. First pitch to Duroff is called strike 1, right on the outside edge, 0-1. 0-0 the score here in the top of the 6th inning. The Dads are threatening. Schmidt a lot of speed on second, the 0-1. Duroff, line drive, base hit right field. Up with it, Anderson. Here comes Schmidt. The throw to the plate is cut off. The Dads score first here in the elimination game in the CCL playoffs. 1-0 Crawdads.
Great piece of hitting there, and the speed of Schmidt, that was the difference, as that ball was not hit very deep, but just deep enough and found a little bit of open grass there, and Schmidt did the rest with his legs, so good on the Crawdads to pick up their guy Barnhart, who was gunned down trying to get to home plate, got caught in a rundown.
1-0 Crawdads. Brian Duroff, what a way to get your first hit of the playoffs. Here's Joey Donnelly, who's stuck in an 0 for 2 with 2 Ks. First pitch, Donnelly lines this one hard into left center field, and that's going to split the gap. Brome comes home, he scores. Right behind him, Duroff is held up. An RBI double for Joey Donnelly. How do you do, Moonman? It's 2-0 Crawdads.
Well, Joey Donnelly had a chance to talk to him last evening during the nightcap game at Sinsheimer Park. And I told him, I said, Joey, you're going to have a big day tomorrow. He goes, no, I think I will too. I said, yeah. I said, I could see an RBI double. I could see some things like that happening for you. And Donnelly, I mean, just got into that ball, split the gap, as you said, and I think a wise move not sending Duroff home as well. That was a good throw back in. I don't know if he would have made it, and it looks like maybe is finally going to be chased out of this start, possibly here.
Still no one warming up in the Blues bullpen, but definitely a mound visit. And, You get a little emotional when Joey Donnelly does some good things, and you know how good of a hitter he is, and you know how hard he works, and finally coming through in the biggest game of the year.
It's a great moment, and really the Crawdads needed it. It's something they were chasing all day yesterday, was the big hit, the big moment, and they weren't able to get it. And here, they're up 2-0 with a chance for more damage.
Here's Cam Calvillo with the Crawdads now leading 2-0. Donnelly doubled. He's on second. Duroff, after his RBI single, is on third. First pitch to Calvillo is up and in, 1-0.
And all of this with 2 outs. You don't expect those kinds of things to happen after you get a rundown in between home and third.
The 1-0. Calvillo off his fist to third base. Tough play. Samuelson up with it. On the run, throws to first, and retires Calvillo. Nice job by Tate Samuelson to get Calvillo hustling down the line. But the Crawdads, 2 runs, 4 hits. They take a 2-0 lead. We'll head bottom 6 when we come back here on the Crawdads Streaming Network. Bottom of the 6th inning here at Sinsheimer Park in San Luis Obispo. 2-0. The Crawdads now lead after Brian Duroff's RBI single and Joey Donnelly's RBI double, both with 2 outs. The 2-out hitting, we've mentioned it at large for the Crawdads this summer, and it's been huge, and it came up huge today.
They have a clutch gene.
First pitch of the 6th inning, runs inside on the Blues' leadoff hitter today. Or not today, for this inning, excuse me. 1-0 to Gabrielson. Slider lined into left center, but Schmidt has to take a couple steps back to make the catch for out number 1.
Classic Coleman Schmidt there. Runs in hard and then realizes, oops, I got to take a few steps back here, but I'm a good enough athlete to do those kinds of things out in the outfield. And seen a couple of liners out there his way, but really Mark Perkins, smooth sailing.
5 1/3 innings now for Perk with 7 strikeouts. He has been very good. And now the lineup card flips over to the actual leadoff hitter, Jake Simons, and, well, death taxes and Jake Simons getting hit by pitches.
That's number 17 if you include regular season and playoffs now. So 17 times that man has been hit with a baseball. And, I mean, maybe he needs like an NIL deal with like an ice pack company or something for some pain relief.
I mean, that's hilarious.
Not for him. That's incredible. And he's a good hitter, too. It's not like he just excels at getting hit by pitches. He hits the ball.
First pitch to Gallegos is waved at and missed, a big slider, and it's 0-1. It's hilarious.
What is the mindset for you when you're getting hit by a pitch? Maybe let's say 10% of the time, a little bit over 10%.
The 0-1. We'll see if Simons runs. He looks like he's ready. He does not. He starts and stops as Gallegos swings and misses again. So Jake Simons, 17 hit by pitches this summer. Last season at CSUN, he played in 24 games, had 14 hit by pitches. So this is not. It's not new for him. Pickoff move back in is Simons.
So my chances of seeing him at CSUN, I could go out to a game and I'd probably see Simons get hit.
If you go to 2 games, there's a very good chance, percentages-wise. Pickoff move again, but Simons dives in head first.
And Perkins not making it easy on him. He hits him with a pitch, and then he's going to force him to get in the dirt, get nasty down there.
I know, that's always the worst. Shame on you, Perk. The 0-2. Inside and low. Blocked by Donnelly.
And pitchers do that on purpose. I mean,
oh yeah,
he wants to keep
not hit them.
No, not hit them, but he wants to keep tabs on Simons because he's fast. But I mean, you know, he's going to keep him honest over there, rough him up a little bit.
The 1-2. Simons runs. Pitch is swung on and missed. Donnelly's throw to second is in the dirt. Gets past Corio, but Simons stays at second as it's well backed up by Cam Calvillo. And a nice strikeout, the 8th of the day for Mark Perkins.
Mark Perkins, you know, we mentioned that maybe was having the best start of his life, and we'll have to ask Perk after this ball game, no matter how it ends, if this is up there with his best starts that he's had.
And by maybe, you meant Cam maybe. I really, it took me a minute to think of who you were talking about.
I meant Cam maybe, yes.
Here's Shamela, who's 0 for 2. First pitch. High fly ball, center field. Schmidt coming in on it. Makes the catch for out number 3. Perkins hits a batter but strands him at second base. 6 shutout frames for Mark Perkins, the man from Rice. Top 7 when we come back. Alon to say back on Alon to play-by-play here on the Crawdads Streaming Network.
Top of the 7th inning, Alondise back here on the play-by-play. The Crawdads with a 2-0 lead and a win-or-go-home situation. One of these two teams, between the Crawdads and the Blues, will be eliminated at this ballgame's conclusion as Ellis swings and misses. The count 0-1, maybe still on the mound for the San Luis Obispo Blues. Crawdads so far, 2 runs, 4 hits, no errors. The Blues, no runs, a hit, and an error. Ellis quickly behind here, 0-2. After Ellis, it's Cummings and Barnhart. 0-2 pitch to Ellis, and this misses low. The count, a ball and 2 strikes. The Crawdads with this 2-run lead. You know, the way Perkins has pitched, they might not need a whole lot more scoring to happen for them, but of course they would take that.
Yeah, I think they would take it.
1-2 pitch, and Ellis hits this back up the box, but it's fielded by the shortstop, Darcy, who makes a nice throw to get Ellis by a step over at first. 1 down in the top of the 7th.
By the way, I'd like Crawdads fans to know that I considered retirement after my Alonda play-by-play joke.
It was good. I liked it. I'd never heard that before.
Really?
Never.
I think I've been thinking it for a while.
Austin, you don't always find that wit and that intelligence everywhere you go. So
as I've spent time with the dads, I'm one with the dads, and it's a dad joke.
I am one with the dads. This pitch in there for a strike to Casey Cummings. Ellis, after grounding out there, is now 0 for 3. Cummings is 0 for 2, but he has reached base once. That was on an error. 0-1 pitch. That's in there. The count 0-2. So maybe sending the fastball in right down the heart of the plate, but about knee high. Maybe works from the third base side of the rubber. Now delivers and misses high. The count 1-2. Cummings in right field today. Hasn't really seen any action out there. The 1-2 pitch, and he fouls this away. Count still a ball and 2 strikes. But it was so important for the Crawdads to get on the board here first in this ball game, in an elimination game. If they do win this game, they will play at 2:30. So quick turnaround. Another pitch that is hit high but foul. It's going to land past the grassy knoll out here.
But I think the Crawdads whoever wins this game would rather play at 2:30 than have to wait about 6 hours and play at 7.
They will play the Riptide if they do win. As Cummings hits this on the ground, it's tried to get speared there by the second baseman, McGuire. Made a tough play there, did McGuire. He slid to his right and tried to pick it, but Cummings is safe at first.
Stay hot, Casey Cummings.
Now that'll be a hit all the way. Now Cummings does have a hit. Thought for a moment that maybe they were going to give him a hit on his first at-bat, but it was an error instead. So Cummings has been on base twice now. So with 1 down in the top of the 7th, it's 2-0, and here's Joe Barnhart, who has a double today in his last at-bat.
I think Joe Barnhart's a big X factor for the Crawdads this playoffs with that 3-catcher rotation of Donnelly, Barnhart, and Tajero. Someone really has to step up, and today Donnelly and Barnhart both doing so.
Barnhart takes the count 1-1. And the good thing to see from Barnhart, too, wasn't just, a softly hit ball that maybe found a gap somewhere or a little bit of space. I mean, he hit that ball in the screws and hit it into the gap in his last at-bat. So a really good sign for Barnhart, as maybe does not want Cummings to take off for second. Saw Cummings attempt some steals, but some balls were fouled away earlier in the ballgame. Cummings being held on the pitch, and Barnhart, another foul ball. Count 1-2. A lot of foul balls this inning, a lot of souvenirs. Of course, every team has a rather large allotment of CCL baseballs. Pretty sure whichever ones haven't been used, they've all been shipped here to San Luis Obispo for this tournament. The 1-2 pitch, this misses outside. They count 2 balls and 2 strikes.
I will say all the CCL branded balls that I have were from the game here in Slow because I was down in the bullpen, and our good friend Devin Susky. Devin, we miss you. Hope you're doing well. He gave me a couple, but he had to take a couple for himself.
Cummings takes off for second, and will he beat the throw? He does. He beats the throw from Gallegos. Barnhart was taking all the way there, and the count is full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. So kind of the best case scenario there on that pitch. Cummings gets a stolen base, and Barnhart gets to see a payoff pitch.
Yeah, and eliminates the double play out of the or at least the conventional one. We've seen so many weird double plays.
We have seen quite a few. The payoff pitch, and that's a fastball in there for a strike. Barnhart, not in love with that call, but it was there. It was a little bit low, but it was right over the outer portion of home plate. So they're now 2 down. Cummings still at second.
Just a massive strikeout from Cam Maybe to be able to dot the outside with that fastball. Like you said, Strand Cummings at second, at least for the time being, but to set down Barnhart, who's definitely seeing the ball very well today.
Here comes the leadoff man today for the Crawdads, Coleman Schmidt, who is 1 for 3, a couple of strikeouts, but a bunt single. Came around to score. Back in the 6th. As Schmidt makes a bid at the first pitch he sees, but fouls it back into the netting. The count 0-1. It's 2-0 Crawdads. Coleman Schmidt, one of the men who came around to score, and really his speed paid off there on that scoring play. Maybe up to 84 pitches now, 61 of them strikes. 0-1 pitch to Schmidt, and Schmidt takes low. The count even, a ball and a strike. Maybe trying to get through his 7th inning of work. He's just 1 out away.
And for Maybe, who has been throwing strikes all day, it's been a different story for Perkins, who didn't do the same early on, but he has just pounded the strike zone in the latter innings.
Maybe fires, and this bounces in the dirt, and tracking back over to second is Cummings. He thought about getting to third, but ball doesn't get away from Chase Gallegos. I count 2 balls and a strike. Maybe with 6 strikeouts. He's given up 5 hits, just 1 walk. He's been excellent for the Blues. And now stepping off the rubber here and looking back to second is Maybe. Doesn't look like Cummings is being held on. And the infield's slightly shaded to the pull side of Coleman Schmidt. The outfield's playing in. 2-1 pitch. Schmidt lines this into left field. That gets down. Cummings rounds third. It is now 3-0. An RBI double for Coleman Schmidt.
If Coleman Schmidt starts to hit, that is a dangerous situation for any other team in the CCL. Absolutely blasting that one down the line. The double he hit yesterday to right center was more of a towering shot. This one, just a straight line drive, pounded it down the third base line, extends the lead. That is huge for the Crawdads.
And with 2 outs, the Crawdads are doing their damage today. All of their runs have been scored with 2 down in the frames that they have scored. So they were able to score in the 6th. Now here in the top of the 7th, they're able to get a run. So 2 consecutive innings at bat where they have been able to be productive. And here's Tyson Corio. Corio 0 for 3 and takes a strike there. The count 0-1. Still some trouble for Maybe to get out of here, as he's got some more speed problems over at second in the form of Coleman Schmidt. 0-1 pitch to Corio, and the lefty swings and fouls this away, and that'll land in the parking lot. Count 0-2. They call that the out-of-bounds zone. There are usually
out of bounds in baseball.
Yeah,
what is this?
A cavalcade of children who try to go get those foul balls, but there's some off-limits areas. The 0-2 pitch to Corio, and he takes on the outside black for strike number 3. But the Crawdads add another run. It is 3-0 thanks to Coleman Schmidt's RBI double in the top of the 7th. Bottom of the 7th coming up. Crawdads lead here on the Crawdads streaming network. Bottom of the 7th inning, Crawdads with a 3-0 lead against the San Luis Obispo Blues. The loser of this game is eliminated from the 2022 CCL State Championship Tournament. So big game for both sides. Perkins still on the mound as this is hit high into left field, drifting over near foul territory as a left fielder Brome, but he has the catch just inside fair territory down the left field line for out number 1.
You know, if these Blues want to get Mark Perkins out of the ballgame, it would be smart to stop swinging at first pitches. Now just 76 pitches thrown by Perk.
Yeah, Samuelson went after the first pitch he saw, and he's now 0 for 3. And here's Aiden Anderson, who was walked once. That was in the 2nd and struck out in the 5th. Perkins delivers righty against righty and finds the zone there. The count 0-1. Perkins' breaking stuff has been immaculate in this ball game. The 0-1 pitch, and missing inside there is Perkins. Did that hit Anderson? It did not. Strike there from Perkins. A ball, 2 strikes, 1 down. It's 3-0 Crawdads. The 1-2 pitch, there's a slider that misses low. Tried to catch Anderson out there. Get him hook, line, and sinker with a slider, but wasn't able to get him to swing. 2-2 pitch, and this is jammed over on the right side of the infield. It's just going to be fielded by Duroff, who takes it to first base himself for out number 2.
Anderson was hustling down the line. Duroff played that a little too nonchalantly.
A little casual there from Brian, but he did get there. Anderson was running very hard down the line. But there's 2 down now in the bottom of the 7th, and even though it's just a 3-run lead, every run that the Crawdads have scored today has just seemed so big because the Blues just haven't had really any sustained offense today. They just have 1 hit. Now here's Darcy, the pitch to Darcy, and he ropes one back up the box. That ends up in center field, and he's on first with a 2-out base knock.
So I'm going to be completely honest. I've been thinking since Ryan Ellis, made that play in the early innings that gave the Blues the first base runner or the first base hit of the game. If it had just stayed at that 1 hit, I was considering going over and asking if they could change that to an error because it could have gone either way. It really could have. But now a clean hit.
A clean hit, so that puts the kibosh on everything. Here's Talia. Pitch to Talia, misses down. The count 1-0. With that hit for Darcy, he's now 1 for 3. Probably feels a lot better than the 2 punch-outs he had earlier. Perkins so far has struck out 8, walked 2, and just gave up his 2nd hit of the ball game, but misses low here once again. The count 2-0. If manager Brant Cummings can get 8-9 innings out of Perkins, I mean, just getting into the 7th has been huge for this Walnut Creek Crawdads team. As finding the zone there is Perkins. The count 2 balls and a strike. I mean, it would just be massive. It would really be a boon to their efforts to try to win later this afternoon if they are able to be victorious in this matchup. Perkins delivers. This is fouled away. Now the count will even up at 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 down here. It's 3-0 Crawdads.
And Mark Perkins, whose longest outing of the summer this far had been 5 innings, is now just a strike away from completing 7.
And a strike away from strikeout number 9. 2-2 pitch, and that just misses low. And Perkins thought that was going to be a strikeout. Thought he was going to get his man looking there, but Talia will see 1 more pitch. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 more pitch at least.
Now Talia's got to take advantage of this second chance.
Payoff pitch to Talia. The runner goes, and that misses low as well, and there was no swing. There was an appeal down to first base umpire Ron Adams, but he said Talia did not go. So that's the 3rd walk today that's been issued by Mark Perkins.
And that 3-2 looked pretty good, too.
I think Kai Nakamura has been very good behind home plate today. He's the man calling balls and strikes, but a couple of really nice pitches there from Perkins and not a whole ton of manipulation with the mitt from Donnelly. Not sure what was wrong with those pitches. So here's Connor McGuire, the number 8 hitter. And McGuire taps his foul down the third base line and fielded over there by one of the coaches for the Blues. But McGuire is 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts. Talia now 1 for 2 with a walk. Runners on first and second. Talia at first. Darcy has a small lead off of second base. Infield playing standard here. And the pitch misses. The count, a ball and a strike.
Now the Crawdads have a couple guys starting to throw. It looks like Gabe Tanner and Jack Ben Shoshan out in the bullpen.
2-1 pitch, and this is hit very high in foul territory in front of the Crawdads dugout, and it's caught by the first baseman, Brian DeRoff, for out number 3. So Mark Perkins, if that was his last inning of work, he deserves a tip of the cap and an applause because he has just been excellent today. 7 strong shutout innings pitched by Mark Perkins, and the Crawdads still lead 3-0. Top of the 8th coming up when we return here from San Luis Obispo on the Crawdads streaming network. Top of the 8th inning, the Crawdads with a 3-0 lead. Say, along with Austin Oda here in San Luis Obispo, California, the DVB Insurance broadcast booth on the road. There is a new pitcher on the mound for the Blues. It is Mr. Kevin Lyons, and promptly he nearly gives up a hit, but skying there was Tate Samuelson, able to reach back and take one away.
Nice start for Kevin Lyons, who's 4-1 with an 0.92 ERA in 15 games, nearly a strikeout an inning. He's he can pitch.
Brome thought he had a hit all the way there, but Samuelson at the hot corner. That ball wasn't hit with a lot of velocity, but he definitely had to climb the ladder. So Brome still hitless today, but he does have a walk. He's 0 for 3 with that walk. Pitch here misses high to Brian DeRoff. After DeRoff, it'll be Joey Donnelly. So the heart of the order after Brome was just set down. There's one down here in the top of the 8th.
Kevin Lyons, a returning Blue, pitched in 13 games for SLO last season.
This pitch misses away. Count 2-0.
Played in 3 different collegiate leagues, West Coast League, Northwoods, and California Collegiate League. Playing a little Tyson Corio ball, playing at 3 different collegiate leagues, the top 3.
Trying to get
east to the west of the Cape.
2-0 pitch, foul tipped into the mitt of Gallegos. The count 2-1. trying to get maybe a survey of the West Coast in its entirety. I'll go play baseball here. Maybe I'll go down there for a while. 2 balls, a strike to Daroff, who's had a good day. 1 for 3, but does have an RBI. He misses here. The count 2-2. Final line is in for today's starter for the Blues, as Lyons is in now on the mound. Cameron Mabey pitched 7 innings, gave up 6 hits, 3 runs, all earned, walked 1, struck out 7, faced 29 Crawdads. 2-2 pitch, and this is swung on and missed. And Daroff did not have some kind words there for home plate umpire Kai Nakamura. I don't think Daroff liked the zone there in that at-bat. So Daroff frustrated. He's now 1 for 4, his second strikeout of the day, both swinging.
I think Daroff might be more frustrated with himself. All of the strikes there were swinging, and they were all up. And so that's a pitch that Brian Daroff has some trouble with. He chases it pretty frequently, but he'll hand the bat to Joey Donnelly.
And sometimes you wonder if running into that big home run in Healdsburg on a pitch that was very high, if that, even though he did damage with it, if that's damaging a little bit to the approach of Brian Daroff, because he knows he can get after it, as this one is lined foul past the bullpen of the Crawdads by Joey Donnelly. Donnelly 1 for 3 today with an RBI double. Couple of strikeouts. Been good to see Donnelly come alive. A 1 pitch to Donnelly, and he swings at it. Little tapper in front of the mound. It's fielded by Lyons. Underhand toss over to first for out number 3. But the Crawdads still with a 3-0 lead heading into the bottom of the 8th. There is some warming up going on down in the bullpen of the Crawdads. You wonder if Perkins is done for the day or if he's going to come back out. We will see when we return here, San Luis Obispo on the Crawdads streaming network. Mark Perkins' day is done. Gabe Tanner inserted out of the bullpen in relief. Second game in as many days for Gabe Tanner. We saw him pitch yesterday against the Riptide. Went 2 innings, gave up 2 runs, but just 1 earned. 3 hits, a strikeout, faced 11. It's not that Tanner was bad, it's just some balls, found some spots where Crawdads fielders weren't, and he, a little bit of soft contact, but didn't go Gabe's way on the season, the regular season that is. Tanner, 4 wins, 3 losses, a 5.19 ERA, 9 appearances, 6 of them starts. Pitched a decent amount of innings, 34 2/3, and he's already pitched 2 innings here in these playoffs for the Crawdads. And with how thin the bullpen is and the pitching staff in general for Walnut Creek, you figure that the strategy here might be to get Gabe Tanner to pitch not just the 8th, but also the 9th if the Crawdads still have the lead.
Yeah, I would think so. If Tanner's able to go today, then that's only 3 pitchers used through the first 2 games. But Tanner needs to get through the 8th first to start thinking about the 9th.
He's going to start off with Cole Gabrielson, who's 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a line out to center. Gabrielson, you figure for Tanner, who's kind of the perfect first hitter to face, a guy who batted just above 100 this summer for the Blues. And Gabrielson swings and misses. The count 0-1. There's a good fastball from Tanner. Final line on Mark Perkins, today's starter for the Crawdads. Perkins was just excellent. 7 innings, 2 hits, no runs surrendered, 3 walks, 8 strikeouts. 0-1 pitch. Fastball misses high. Not swinging there was Gabrielson, even though that pitch looked a lot more enticing than perhaps the first pitch of this at-bat. Count 1-1. The 1-1 hits Gabrielson right on the arm, and that was a fastball. And occasionally Tanner runs into problems with hitting batters. It does happen. It's something that Tanner has done over his 2 seasons with the Crawdads, and now with nobody out, the Crawdads have a 3-0 lead, but there's a runner over at first for Walnut Creek to deal with, and here's Jake Simons. So the lineup card turns over. The number 9 hitter gets on, and here's the number 1 hitter, Simons. Gallegos on deck. A lead from Gabrielson over at first, a swing and a miss there. The count 0-1.
Tanner just needs to not be worried about throwing strikes. He has a 3-run lead. It's not a big one by any means, but he can't keep walking guys or letting guys get on for free.
Tanner fires and finds his zone. It's one of the few outside calls that we've seen go the way of either of these pitchers. And the count 0-2. Tanner, a chance for a strikeout. The 0-2 pitch, and this is swung on and lined through the hole on the left side. There's going to be runners on the corners. The throw in from Brome, it misses everything, and now calamity for the Crawdads is having to field it all the way near the on-deck circle is Gabe Tanner. So there's runners on second and third now. With nobody out, the tying run comes to the plate, and it's going to be Chase Gallegos.
A disaster for the Crawdads as Brome had a chance to throw out the runner on third. Gabrielson forced the error, and on that play, Simons moved up to second.
Simons at second. He had a hit, and an error gets him over to second. But 2 runners in scoring position. Gabrielson 90 feet away from scoring the first run today for the Blues. It's still 3-0 Crawdads, and Gallegos takes a first pitch strike. The count 0-1. This is about as high leverage as it can get, not just for the Walnut Creek Crawdads, but for Gabe Tanner out on the mound in his career as a Crawdad. Don't think he's been in a bigger moment for Walnut Creek, and Tanner paused a long time there before getting into his motion. A little bit of throwing out there in the bullpen for the Crawdads. This pitch misses low and outside. The count 1-1. Now after Perkins, it's just phenomenal. Tanner has let the first 2 men that he's faced here in the bottom of the 8th get on base. This pitch checked on, but no swing there from Gallegos, and the count 2-1. It's incumbent upon the catcher Donnelly, who does not have a whole lot of experience back there, to make sure nothing gets by him. Can't drop any third strikes either. The 2-1 pitch, and this misses low, and smothering it, Donnelly right on cue. 3 balls, a strike now. Tanner does have a base open, but you do not want to load the bases with nobody out.
Especially not for the 3, 4, 5 hitters.
Gallegos 0 for 2 today with a walk. He's trying to do some damage. And this is hit to the opposite field in right field, and that will score 2 runs. The throw back in, and not in time. It's a 2 RBI double for Chase Gallegos. And now this game is just a 1-run ball game. It is 3-2 Crawdads. Still nobody out and another runner in scoring position. And here comes pitching coach Jack Delmore. You wonder if Tanner, who doesn't pitch very often for the Crawdads in terms of back-to-back days, if maybe he's a little fatigued or what the deal is with Gabe.
he's leaving a bunch of balls in, and he's falling behind in counts, and when you fall behind 3-1 to a two-hitter, you know he's going to do some damage. Taking the ball the other way was huge for Gallegos there, and now the Crawdads really have to bear down.
Coming around to score, Gabrielson and Simons. If you're just joining us, it's a great game here. Mark Perkins was excellent through 7. Gabe Tanner on the mound right now as Kai Nakamura comes over to break this huddle up, but Tanner having some trouble here locating, and now he's got to deal with the number 3 hitter, Nathan Schmela. Schmela 0 for 3, has hit into a double play today, bounced out 5-3 and flown out to center. That was back in the 6th, his most recent at-bat, but just a 1-run ball game that the Crawdads lead 3-2 here in the bottom of the 8th. And right now, Tanner's just got to figure out how to get out number 1 up there on the board. Setting up outside is Donnelly. The pitch from Tanner, and finds the outside black, and the count 0-1. Just nipping the zone there was Tanner. Even though it was a 3-0 lead, it seemed like 3 runs was going to be a monumental task to overcome for the Blues, as this pitch is chopped foul down the third base line. The count 0-2. So Tanner ahead of Schmela. On deck, Tate Samuelson. In the hole, Aiden Anderson. Still nobody out. Crawdads played in the opening game of these playoffs yesterday morning. The opening game here on day 2. 0-2 pitch, and this is just fought off. And the count stays 0-2. The Crawdads do not want to see their season end here now that we are just past noon at Sinsheimer Park. Game started at 10 a.m., but they want to keep this thing rolling. They'd like to play at 2:30. Tanner looks back to second. The 1-2 pitch, and check swing there. Did he go? And appeal. He did go. So that is a strikeout for Gabe Tanner and a much-needed punch-out for the Crawdads. 1 away.
Just a huge out number 1 for Tanner. The high fastball. Schmela couldn't hold up. Now 0 for 4, and he needs to keep it going here, does Gabe Tanner.
Tanner got that pesky first out of the way. Unfortunately for the Crawdads, it came after 2 runs have already scored. And here's Tate Samuelson, the third baseman for the Blues, righty against righty. Runner at second has his lead. The pitch from Tanner, this is chopped back up the middle, fielded by the shortstop Calvillo. A couple hops, and he throws on to first for out number 2. Advancing on the play over to third is Chase Gallegos. Oh, he is drawing closer to scoring the tying run, but he's going to need to be driven in by Aiden Anderson.
And now Tanner only has to worry about the batter in the box. That's really big for him. He just has to focus on getting this one out.
See if Gabe Tanner, who is newly committed, it's been about a month now to Cal CD Spay, if he can get through this, finish off the bottom of the 8th. And the Crawdads still have the lead at 3-2. First pitch misses low and inside. The count 1-0. Wind now swirling and blowing in from right field. Really going to carry a lot of balls to left. The 1-0 pitch, and that's in there for a strike. Good fastball from Gabe Tanner. Right on the inside portion of home plate. Count even, 1-1. Tanner kicks the leg, deals, and a slider not called a strike, just misses low. Looked like it hit home plate, but below the knees, says Kai Nakamura, the home plate umpire, and the count 2-1. Here it is, and the 2-1 pitch is scorched out to left field, but right at Ryan Brome, who has it for out number 3. Gabe Tanner gets out of the jam. He does give up 2 runs, but the Crawdads still have a 1-run lead heading into the top of the 9th. It is 3-2 Crawdads. The tying run stranded at third. More Crawdads baseball. They still have some fight in them We'll be right back here from Sunshiner Park after the break on the Crawdads Streaming Network.
Heading now for the Crawdads.
Top of the ninth, the Crawdads, a one-run lead here in an elimination game. Loser goes home. Winner gets to play at 2:30 against the OC Riptide, a team that the Crawdads lost to yesterday in the opening game of these playoffs. Still Lions on the mound, and he deals a strike to Cameron Calvillo. It's Calvillo leading things off here. And after Cameron, Ryan Ellis and Casey Cummings. An insurance run would go a long way for the Crawdads, and Calvillo gets under this ball, hits it high into shallow center field. Coming on now to make the catch is Simons. And the center fielder has it for out number one. Calvillo now 0 for 4. And here's Ryan Ellis, who's 0 for 3. Some offers here in the bottom half of the lineup. The Crawdads with 3 runs, 6 hits, no errors. A home team Blues, 2 runs, 4 hits, an error for them. Both of the Blues' runs came last half inning. Lions the righty. Big over-the-top delivery from Lions. Kind of a jerky motion as well. Pitch missed, the count 1-0. The 1-0 to Ellis, and he takes low once again. The count 2-0. So Ryan Ellis ahead here. It is hard to get the ball out of this ballpark, but Ryan Ellis does have thunder in his hands. 2-0 pitch comes in, and does that hit Ellis? No, it did not. It just skipped over his boot. The count 3-0.
It would do the Crawdads a great deal of confidence if they were able to push at least one run across the plate in this inning. Bode very well for their future.
See if Ellis takes all the way here, the 3-0, and he does. It misses low and in, nowhere near the zone. That's a 1-out walk. Ryan Ellis at first now.
An interesting development for the Crawdads. Cam Calvillo is throwing in the bullpen. He is a two-way guy. He did both ways at Ohlone this past season. And heard he can throw up to 90. He has that arm. We've seen it across the diamond. But I wonder if we'll see him or Nordell or another inning of Gabe Tanner.
Here is Casey Cummings. Pitch to Cummings, a big slow curveball in their first strike. The count 0-1. Calvillo looks like he's really starting to ramp it up now. Warming up with some authority here. And he does have the arm strength. Really a lot of strength in both the arms on the left side of the infield. And taking off is Ellis for second. The throw is a strike, and was the throw there, and they get Ellis. Oh, Ellis gunned down by Gallegos, and there's 2 away.
And that's so huge for the Blues. They really needed that second out, and now just 1 out away from sending their bats up to the plate for the 9th inning.
Actually, that pitch was called a ball. The count 1-1. But that was a huge play for the Blues. The 1-1 pitch to Cummings with nobody on base, and that's a strike. The count 1-2. It seems like every moment has just been so pressure-packed here. A steal attempt for Ryan Ellis that doesn't go his way. And a 1-2 pitch to Cummings, who lines this, but it's speared on a dive by Tate Samuelson, the third baseman. He has shown off some fielding ability this afternoon here in San Luis Obispo for the Blues. Crawdads did get a base runner, but he was retired trying to steal second. That was Ryan Ellis. It is still 3-2 Crawdads. And we're going to see who tries to shut this thing down for the Dads here. Bottom of the ninth coming up. The Crawdads trying to win this game so they can play at 2:30. Bottom of the ninth, Gabe Tanner still on the mound for the Crawdads. He's going to try to close things out here and get the Crawdads to the game at 2:30 p.m. against the OC Riptide. It's going to be 6, 7, and 8 for the Blues. Cody Darcy, Zach Talia, and Connor McGuire. Darcy 1 for 3 today. Tanner kind of stretching things out there on the mound, righty against righty. Tanner fires, weak contact, a hopper, and it's going to be taken by Ellis. He takes it away from Calvillo, and then Ellis throws high into the netting. And now Darcy's going to be on second. That's an error for Ellis. Thought Ellis, figured that was his ball. The momentum's carrying him that way, but I think Cam Calvillo had a much easier time to make that play, and instead, the tying run now at second.
Just a disastrous start to the inning for the Crawdads. They needed that first out, and even if they didn't get an out, it would have been beneficial to just hold on to that ball and make sure it doesn't get into the dugout. That is huge for the Blues.
There is a pinch runner now out at second. You'll see who that is. Bust out the binocs here. But at the plate now is Zach Talia, the Blues first baseman, as a runner in scoring position. And it's Maciel over at second base, pinch running for Cody Darcy. And this pitch misses low. The count 1-0.
Zach Talia has been arguably the best player on the Blues this entire season, the leader in home runs and RBI, and he's the guy that won up in this situation.
Runner at second, Maciel's small lead. 1-0 pitch coming to Talia. Here it is. Talia shows bunt, pulls it back. It's a strike. And the count 1-1. Well, the Crawdads putting themselves in a situation where they're playing extra innings rules here. Still in normal regulation. Bottom nine, Gabe Tanner has been laboring today in relief, but he's still out there. He's going to fight. A 1-1 pitch to Talia. He takes, that's a strike. Good fastball there from Gabe Tanner. And the count, a ball and 2 strikes now. Nobody out. Gabe Tanner looking for out number 1. And the Crawdads can start to exhale just a little bit. Someone's still warming up in the pen for the Dads. Big moment for Tanner. The 1-2 pitch, a slider, and that just misses, perhaps a bit high. Looked like he was going to get Talia staring at it for strike number 3, but Talia lives to fight another day. He will see another pitch. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Maciel not aggressive off of second. 2-2 here. Time is called. That was a late time call, and Tanner cannot be happy about that. He was already into his motion, and he had to pull that ball back down so he didn't throw it. And sometimes when that happens with players, they can get hurt. Tanner's okay out there.
And you have to give it to Zach Talia. That's a really, really smart thing by him to be able to notice when Tanner's going to his motion. You know he's going to get frustrated, and I think Talia is hoping that he leaves something right down the middle.
1-run ball game here in the bottom of the 9th. A scenario that the Crawdads have been in seemingly all season, whether they're trying to come from behind or preserve a late lead. The 2-2 from Tanner, and a swing and a miss. A huge strikeout for Gabe Tanner there. That's out number 1. The Crawdads 2 outs away now from advancing in these playoffs. Still, Maciel over at second, but exactly what Gabe Tanner and Walnut Creek needed there with a big punch-out.
They're just not even close to out of the woods yet. Even with the 8-9 spot coming up, you know this team is going to fight in front of their home crowd. Tanner just needs to stay within himself, and it's going to be a pinch hitter. It's Villegas at the plate.
Oh, Villegas going to pinch hit for Connor McGuire. Bob Miller using everything he has left in the arsenal. First pitch to Villegas is a fastball that misses in. Tanner thought it was a strike. The count 1-0. One down here, bottom of the 9th. Tying run over at second. It is 3-2 Crawdads. The 1-0 pitch here, and this misses inside. And the count 2-0. Colin Villegas pinch hitting for Connor McGuire, who was 0 for 3. His day is over. Oh, we got a pinch runner out there and pinch hitter in the box. Tanner taking his time. Now kicks, deals. There's a slider in there for a strike. And the confidence out of Gabe Tanner there. A 2-0 count to fire a slider. He's able to find a strike. Crawdads 2 outs away from advancing. The tying run at second, and Villegas at the plate in their way. Another slider. And back-to-back sliders get called for strikes there for Gabe Tanner. The count now even, 2-2. After falling behind 2-0, Tanner has been able to dig down deep, get back into this thing, and he might strike out his second consecutive batter. 2-2 pitch, and it's another slider that is hammered to left, but well foul. And if not for just a slight issue in timing there for Villegas, this game would be over. That had the home run distance, but just a loud foul ball. Count still 2-2. Tanner has to make a better pitch than the last one. Looks back to second. The 2-2. Here it is. A fastball that is hit into center. Is that going to get down? No. Tyson Corio runs out from his second baseman spot and makes a miraculous catch in the outfield. Tyson Corio just covered a lot of ground. If that gets down, Villegas is definitely on third. Coleman Schmidt had no chance on that play, and Tyson Corio comes out of nowhere to make a huge catch. There are now 2 down here in the bottom of the 9th. The Crawdads 1 out away from advancing in the CCL playoffs. Maciel over at second, and it's going to be the number 9 hitter who is not going to be pinch hit for. It is Cole Gabrielson. Gabrielson 0 for 2, was hit by a pitch in his last at-bat. Right now, Joey Donnelly, who just had some words with his man Gabe Tanner there, just wants to make sure all the signs are correct, and Donnelly needs to make sure that nothing wild gets by him. The number 9 hitter, the 103 hitting, Gabrielson, takes a swing and fouls us away. The count 0-1. Cannot take this batter for granted, though. This is a huge moment. The regular season does not matter. All of that stuff, ancient history. Right now, in an elimination game that the Crawdads lead by a run, it is 3-2 Walnut Creek. The 0-1 pitch. Gabrielson swings, lines this up the middle, and that will score Maciel. Schmidt up with it. We have a tie ball game. It is now 3-3 here in the bottom of the 9th. The 103 hitting Cole Gabrielson comes through in the biggest moment this season for the Blues. And the unexpected just happened there. Cole Gabrielson drives in the tying run. Some of the wind being taken out of the sails now for the Crawdads. We have to be pondering at this juncture, how do we just get out number 3, get into extra innings, and give ourselves a shot? Pickoff move here. And Gabrielson safe at first. And for Gabe Tanner, he has to get through Jake Simons now. Very good hitter for the Blues, who already has a knock today. Pitch there misses, the count 1-0. The Crawdads have had a heck of a run this season, and they want to keep running. – 1-0 pitch, and this is swung on a miss, and Donnelly, it hit him. It was actually foul tipped, and it hit Donnelly. Looks like he's okay. Count 1-1. As now a brief pause in the action. But Darcy reached second on a throwing error from Ryan Ellis. Then he was pinch ran for. And this misses outside, the count 2-0. Excuse me, 1-1. 2-1. 2 balls, a strike. Pitch there, a big fastball. Blows it right by him, does Tanner. And he needed that against Simons. But new life has been found by the San Luis Obispo Blues, who are able to tie things up here in the bottom of the 9th. The pinch runner, Villegas, a good choice for manager Miller. He's able to score from second. This pitch, and that hits Simons on the elbow. No, you're going to punch him out.
They're going to say he leaned into it.
They're going to say he leaned into it. So Simons, I don't know, it looked like maybe he hunched a little bit, but Kai Nakamura says he leaned into the pitch, and that's an out. You cannot do that. And now Bob Miller, the manager, arguing with Kai Nakamura, but as it stands now, that's out number 3. We're headed to extra innings. And kind of an unceremonious way to end regulation. So after 9, it is all tied up 3-3. Crawdads had a 1-run lead, but they blew it. They're going to have to get it back here in the top of the 10th when we come back on the Crawdads streaming network.
pinch hitter in, Jack Ben Soshan.
Top of the 10th, extra innings baseball for the Crawdads, something that both myself and Austin Oda, as well as all of the Crawdads who are still here, have become accustomed to this season. It is 3-3. There is a pinch hitter for the Dads. It is Jack Ben Shoshan pinch hitting for the designated hitter, Joe Barnhart. The ghost runner in effect, runner at second. And showing bunt there is Ben Show. He pulls back and he was hit by a ball there. And now runners at first and second, hit by a pitch is Jack Ben Shoshan pinch hitting. Casey Cummings, the runner over at second base.
So the Crawdads, they were willing to give up an out, and then maybe the best case scenario there, other than a bunt single, but Ben Show, like you said, showing bunt, was able to get on to first.
Down number 27, Coleman.
And, I mean, this is the part of the lineup you want up.
It is. Coleman Schmidt, his last two at-bats, a bunt single and an RBI double. All of the runs in this ball game have come in the second half of the contest. And showing bunt here is Schmidt. And coming in was Talia, the first baseman. And showing bunt once again is Schmidt, and pulls it back. It's a ball. The count 1-0. So some defensive switches for the Blues. Price, the second baseman. I believe Maciel is in left. Villegas at short. 1-0 pitch is swung on and missed. The count 1-1. So cleared that up for you. All you kind Crawdads fans who have joined us all season. And this is a barn burner right now. Top of the 10th. Two runners on for the Dads here in extra innings. Coleman Schmidt, a 1-1 count. Nobody out. Game is tied 3-3. A massive moment. Showing bunt once again is Schmidt. He pulls it back, and it's not a strike. So Schmidt, I think, is playing some games here with Mr. Lyons on the mound. And the count 2 balls and a strike.
Were Schmidt to bunt it down the third baseline, Samuelson has struggled at third base, and it would likely move both the runners up, but there's a chance that Schmidt could be safe at first as well.
Schmidt has the wheels. The 2-1 pitch. He shows bunt once again, pulls this back. This is a strike. And the count 2-2. You figure the bunt sign would be off now. You never know. Playoff baseball. Odd things do happen. After Schmidt, it'll be Tyson Corio. Two-two pitch to Schmidt. Schmidt able to stay alive, punched his foul on the right side. Count stays 2-2. Gallegos called for that ball outside. Maybe missing. Again, a little too much of the plate there was Lyons. The Blues have roared back in this game. The Crawdads trying to answer. Cummings, a lead off of second. Ben Show off of first. 2-2 pitch to Schmidt. Schmidt connects, hits this on a line over to the shortstop, Maciel. It's a double play. He got it out of the air and then beat Cummings back to the bag. That's a bad read by Casey Cummings.
There's just nothing that Cummings could do there. He was off the base with his lead, trying to make sure he was going to score on a single, and the ball hit right to the shortstop. And just, I mean, that's the worst thing that could have happened for the Crawdads right there.
Deflating for the Crawdads. You start these extra inning situations off with a runner at second and nobody out. You almost have to assume that that run has to come in because the other team has a very high percentage chance of scoring their ghost runner. Oh, here's Corio. The count 1-0 as this pitch missed. Coleman Schmidt could not come through in the clutch for the Crawdads once again. And now the job will be left up to Tyson. Ben Shoshan off of first. 2 down. Ben Show's going to take off for second. This ball is hit high into right field, but it hangs up for the right fielder, Anderson, and he makes the catch for the third out in the top of the 10th. The Crawdads not able to score a run. It is still 3-3. There will be a ghost runner on second for the Blues when they come up to bat after the break here on the Crawdads streaming network. Bottom of the 10th inning, 3-3 here in San Luis Obispo, California. The second day, the opening game of the second day of the playoffs in this 2022 CCL Championship Tournament. There's a new pitcher on the mound for the Crawdads, the third used today by manager Brant Cummings. It's Nate Nordell. It will be his job to keep this game tied, get it to the top of the 11th, so the Crawdads have another chance at it. Nordell comes in 1-0, a 3.52 ERA, 11 appearances in the regular season, 1 start, 23 innings pitched, 15 strikeouts, 8 walks, 20 hits given up. Nordell is being put in the pressure moment of all pressure situations for the Crawdads this season. Gabe Tanner, his day is done. The final line on Tanner. 2 innings pitched, 4 hits, 3 runs, all earned, 2 strikeouts, faced 11, didn't walk anybody. Gabe Tanner was called on to pitch the last 2 innings, and the Blues got back into it against Gabe after just a phenomenal start from Mark Perkins today. 7 innings of shutout ball from Mr. Perkins. Oh, it is 3-3 here in the bottom of the 10th. The runner on second who will start things for the Blues in scoring position is Jake Simons.
Number 17, Chase Gallegos.
It'll be Gallegos, Schmela, and Samuelson. Infield is in. See what Gallegos does here. He shows bunt and scoring, but it misses outside. The count 1-0. Nordell looking to fire a strike. Corner infielders come in, and a steal of third there.
There's a fast seat cushion going on to number 463. If you have number
That is aggressive base running there from Jake Simons. He stole third. Don't think the Crawdads were expecting that, and the count 2-0. The winning run 90 feet away now at third base. The Blues at their home stadium are fighting to the very last. The Crawdads now, the entire infield in. The pitch to Gallegos misses outside. The count 3-0. Nordell still looking for strike number 1. Nobody out here. Bottom of the 10th. Game on the line. 3-0 pitch, there's a strike. And with the season for Walnut Creek hanging in the balance, Nordell has to take a deep breath after authoring the first strike to Gallegos. The count 3-1. 3-1 pitch. Gallegos takes outside. It gets away from Donnelly, and this game is over. The season is over for the Crawdads. A wild pitch, and the Crawdads season is done. They lose 4-3. They are walked off by the San Luis Obispo Blues, who will advance and play the OC Riptide at 2:30 this afternoon here in San Luis Obispo. But the Crawdads' magical season comes to an end. They lost yesterday to the Riptide, and now they fall 4-3 on a wild pitch that scores the winning runner, Jake Simons. He was the man who scored the final run of this ball game, 4-3. Mark Perkins had a great start for the Crawdads today, 7 innings of shutout ball, and he did all he could to keep this team in it. Gabe Tanner came in, gave up the lead, pitched 2 innings, 3 runs, and the winning run scored against Nate Nordell. Nordell, the loser. And the final loss of the season for the Crawdads, the winner, Mr. Kevin Lyons. So the Crawdads knocked out with 2 losses now officially in the books. A great season for the Crawdads. They were able to win a lot of games, 25 of them overall, and there were some very great moments for this team. Some walk-off victories, Austin. Some great baseball on display all season, and a team with only about 16 guys on the roster today. I mean, they gave it their all, and you wonder what things would have looked like with more depth, more players here for the playoffs, but that was the hand that the Crawdads were dealt, and they really put up a good fight for the entire season and this entire ball game, but it gets away from them in extra innings, and the magic runs out.
Crawdads fans, I just want to thank you for joining us this summer. It's been an amazing ride. I'm gonna go say something to the team, but thank you for joining us, and Dads fans, I'll see you next summer.
Thank you, Mr. Austin Oda. Excellent all season. I want to thank all you Crawdads fans for joining us this year. It's been a pleasure of mine to help bring you these games along with Mr. Oda. The Blues win. They are happy. They will see another game in their home ballpark in the playoffs. They will advance and play the OC Riptide in the next stage of this tournament at 2:30. The game was right there for the Crawdads. They had a 3-0 lead at one point, but the Blues came storming back, and at home they were able to get the job done. And the Crawdads hanging their heads out there in the outfield, but you know what? They have nothing to be ashamed of. Some tough circumstances here in the playoffs with a very depleted roster, and they still showed up. They acted professional. They gave it their all. They just came up short. So the Crawdads' 2022 season is over, but a lot of highlights this season. Some big home runs, some huge walk-off wins, some great performances, 11 strikeouts from Jack Ben Shoshan out of the bullpen. I mean, there's just so much to look at about this season and smile at and be happy with if you're one of the players, if you're one of the family members, or if you're just a Crawdads fan. The Crawdads' story has now been finished this summer. They lose 2 games in the playoffs, and they are eliminated. They will not continue. It's been a wild ride, folks, and this is our final broadcast of the season. And for the Crawdads, they are not done. In their second season in existence under manager Brant Cummings' leadership and guidance, they were able to qualify for the playoffs, something that looked unattainable for a while when they were mired in just the lowest of valleys on a big losing streak, and they were able to rally at the end of the season, punch their ticket to San Luis Obispo, come down here for a couple of days and play baseball. However, they are eliminated. So for Austin Oda, I'm Alon to say, and for the last time, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us, inviting us into your homes, on your phones, however you choose to engage with the Crawdads. We really appreciate it, and we're going to continue to put out some content on the social media platforms, but this is our final broadcast of the season. The Crawdads lose. The season is over. The Blues victorious, 4-3. Have a great day, everybody.